All right, yo. We got some dope mother effing fights today, or not today, this weekend. Actually, there is some fights today too, though. But a lot of fights this weekend. A lot of fights this weekend. We got some Bellator tonight. We got some boxing tomorrow. We got for sure UFC Fox 23 tomorrow. I think it's Fox 23, Fox Fight Night 23. Yeah, man. But before anything, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, or don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care if you don't. If you do, man, I appreciate everybody that does show love and support me. You know what I'm saying? I'm growing one by one. You know what I'm saying? That's all that matters is going up. It doesn't matter anyways. I love doing this. I love talking about fights, and it's like a way of me releasing this because I know a lot of my partners and everybody get sick of me talking about fights and what's going on in the fight world. But anyways, yeah, man, we got a lot of fights this weekend. Especially the UFC Fox 23, Fox Night Fight Night 23, which is tomorrow, the 28th. For free, you know what I'm saying? Nothing beats free, you know. Free is better than 3 pennies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got a lot of fights tomorrow. So we could just start it off. I'm not gonna go through every single fight that's tomorrow for the Fox fights. But majority of the fights are dope. Some of the fighters I don't really even know. I'm not familiar with. I've heard the name. Most of the time I hear all the names. You know what I'm saying? I've heard all the names or heard of or read about all of these people. I'm not familiar because I haven't seen every one of them fight. But I'll go through the ones that I do know and I have information on, you know, that I've seen and witnessed myself, because it's all, of course, my opinion. But we can start it with Rafael Assunção and Aljamain Sterling. That's going to be a dope fight. First off, because Rafael Assunção has something to prove, man, because I think his last loss was to TJ. Of course it was to TJ because they fought on UFC 200 and TJ won that. TJ looked really good. And then, you know, of course TJ went on to beat the ranked. And at that time I know Rafael was ranked number 2. And then John Lineker, I don't know what he's ranked now, but I'm assuming he'd still possibly be number 2 because TJ's number 1 and then John Lineker's number 3. And then, of course, he already beat number 3 and 2. So Rafael Assunção versus Aljamain Sterling is going to be a dope fight. You know what I mean? Rafael's, of course, coming off the loss to TJ Dillashaw. So he's probably wanting to keep that ranked number 2 spot. I'm not sure what ranking Aljamain is, but I know that he's only lost once, and it's to Brian Caraway, which that's Miesha Tate's dude. If you don't know, he lost. That's his only loss, and it's to Brian Caraway. So I mean, and if he beats Rafael, man, that's a good look. You know, that's a great look for him to come through and get that W if he could beat Rafael Assunção. That would be crazy for him because then, I mean, that will just shoot him right on up to the top. You know, I mean, he'll be not next in line, but he'll be somewhere right there for the next belt shot at bantamweight. And so that'll be an exciting fight, a super exciting fight. You know who else? Nate Marquardt is fighting Sam Alvey. And Nate Marquardt, I think, fought back September or something like that. September, November. No, not November, because November was 205 and a couple free fights. When did he might have fought? He said September, October, something like that. But he's coming off a win. I know that. And he's, you know, OG in the game, Nate Marquardt. I always enjoy watching his fights. Whether he wins or loses, you know, they're always exciting fights. He's a beast. I'm not too familiar with Sam Alvey. I know he's on a 3-fight win streak. I know that... I know he beat Kevin Casey. If you don't know who Kevin Casey is, he's a big black dude. I'm not sure if he's still in the UFC anymore, but I think he might be at Bellator. I'm not sure. But so that should be an interesting fight, man. You should definitely tune into that because Nate Marquardt's fights are always good, no matter what. And just in case you don't know, man, Nate Marquardt did knock out Tyron Woodley. It was a while ago, and it was in Strikeforce, and that was a long time ago. Tyron Woodley's a completely different fighter. Not different as in stylistically, but he's just a different, more grown, experienced fighter than he was back then. But just giving you light on Nate Marquardt. He's a beast, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that should be a dope fight. Also, you know, Bruce Leroy, he's back. You know, he's fighting Jason Knight. Not too familiar with Jason Knight at all. I know that he's on a 2-fight win streak, and I know his wins are usually by decision. I know his last 2 are for sure by decision. But Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy, man, he's one of my favorites. He's like he's just a badass, you know. He's like a samurai out there, man. He's a ninja. He's like a ninja. He's a ninja warrior out there. He throws kicks. He's like a karate dude, super karate dude. And if you haven't, there's a documentary on Netflix called Dog Fights. I think he comes from that. If he doesn't come from that, I remember seeing. I don't know if he's in that documentary, but I know that he did participate in some of those fights back in the day. From that, you know, with Dada 5000 and all them. I know he did as a kid back then. He's probably like, I'm not sure how old, but I know he was probably like 18, something like that. And of course, he's coming off a loss to Yair Rodriguez, and Yair's a beast. So I mean, that's not a bad. I mean, of course, nobody likes to lose, but that's not a bad loss. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely looking to come back and do his thing. It's at featherweight, you know, 145, and he's fighting Jason Knight, man. So this will be a good, if he can get this win. I think they're kind of using Alex Cesar as a stepping stone. I don't know how great Jason Knight is, but because I don't know what this win will really do for him if he wins. But I know that if Jason Knight wins, this win will be a very good look. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be that should be a very interesting fight to see him coming off a loss to Yair, and then Jason Knight coming off 2 wins. So both of them, I mean, it's on the line. You know, nobody wants 2 losses, and Jason Knight doesn't want to lose one, you know what I'm saying? He's on a 2-fight win streak. He definitely wants to make that 3, so it'd be a great fight. It should be a great fight. Also, we got Andrei Arlovsky and Francis Ngannou. I'm not very sure how to pronounce his name, but 2 heavyweights. You know, Andrei Arlovsky is coming off a 3-fight losing streak. You know what I mean? I think he lost. Who did he lose? He lost to Stipe. Who'd he lose to? He lost to Alistair Overeem after that, and then he but his last fight was Josh Barnett. He lost to Josh Barnett, who then tested positive for steroids or PEDs, something. And so I don't know if that's a no contest or not, but I mean, he's lost 3 in a row. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely needs this win. If he loses, man, this might be it. This is his last chance. And if he can win over Francis, who is a beast, he's on a 4-fight win streak, and he whoops everyone. He's undefeated in the UFC. I think he only has like 1 loss or maybe 2 losses in his career of MMA, but he's definitely undefeated in the UFC. He's on a 4-fight win streak in the UFC, and he's a scary dude, man. He's this big black French dude. He's very entertaining to watch, and all of Arlovsky's fights are entertaining, win or loser. So, I mean, this is going to be a fucking banger. They're going to be throwing bombs, I guarantee you that. And that someone probably will most likely will get knocked out in that fight, you know, for sure. You know, that's the thing about heavyweights. All it takes is one punch, or, yeah, just one punch, one kick, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You're most likely going to sleep, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I love the heavyweights, no matter who it is, whether you're familiar with them or not. They're always entertaining. Heavyweights are always entertaining because all it takes is one single shot and it's over. You know what I'm saying? So love heavyweight fights, and plus, not only on top of that, these are 2 heavyweights that are dope. You know what I'm saying? Arlovsky's has nothing. I mean, he has nothing to prove. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time. He was the heavyweight champ at one point, long time ago, back in like the Tim Sylvia days, and Frank Mir days back in the day. So yeah, dude, those 2 should be a banger fight for sure. And of course, we have Donald Cerrone versus Jorge Masvidal. So and this is at welterweight, 170. Of course, they both were at lightweight at one point. You know, I know Jorge was fighting at lightweight. I know Donald Cerrone, of course, was as well. And this should be, because I mean, Donald's on a 4-fight win streak. I mean, yeah, he beat 4. Is it 4? He beat he beat Alex Oliveira, the Brazilian Cowboy. Then he beat Patrick Cote, then he beat Rick Story, and then he just knocked out and these are all finishes. He put what's his name in the triangle, Oliveira in the triangle, and then he knocked out Patrick Cote, TKO'd him, and then he TKO'd Rick Story, and then he knocked out Matt Brown. So now he's fighting Jorge Masvidal. Who was campaigning for this fight since, you know, because they have previous history, I guess, something about Cowboy. Or so during 205. Cowboy was supposed to fight Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler said he can't do it for whatever reason that was. Then Kelvin Gastelum filled in But during that time, Jorge Masvidal already signed a contract saying he'll fight Kelvin Gastelum. I'm not sure if it was at 205, but it was a different. It was, he signed a contract because they offered him Kelvin Gastelum, and then Cowboy signed a contract saying he'll fight Kelvin Gastelum, so they gave it to Cowboy. So Jorge felt some type of way about that or whatnot, but it should be a great fight, man. I love Jorge Masvidal. I love how he fights. He's a super nasty striker. He's a good wrestler, good jiu-jitsu. Cowboy's good striker, good stand-up, good wrestling, great jiu-jitsu. These two are very evenly matched. Jorge believes his wrestling is better than Cowboy's. Cowboy just wants to fight. Cowboy doesn't care about none of the shit talking or whatever, because Jorge's lightweight been running his mouth. But I mean, it's gonna guaranteed that's a super entertaining fight. I don't care who wins either way. I love both of those dudes. They're dope fighters, both of them. So, and I mean, if Jorge wins, that's a great look for him, man. It'll boost him up in the rankings way up. Probably put Cowboy a little down because he's ranked 5 right now. And if Cowboy wins, he's got maybe one more fight before a belt shot. You know what I'm saying, at welterweight, and he's looked fantastic at welterweight, which is super dope to see him on this. I mean, Cowboy's last 2 losses. If you look at Cowboy's losses, man, Cowboy's last 2 losses I think are to Rafael dos Anjos, and he lost to at lightweight. He got that belt, and then he lost back in the day to Rafael, and then I think he lost to Nate Diaz, and he lost to Benson Henderson twice. I mean, Jorge Masvidal's losses are all by split decision. They're controversy. Al LaQuinta fight, he for sure, and this is my opinion, he won that fight. I mean, and then he lost to Benson Henderson as well. And then he's coming off these 2 fights. He beat up Jake Ellenberger, which was a weird thing. He was whooping his ass, but then ended up, the whole thing where his toe got caught in the cage, and he started pounding him out, counted as a TKO. But he was whooping his ass that fight anyway. So, but that controversy, blah 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 blah. But that was a dope fight. And then who did he beat before that? He beat up Ross Pearson, and Ross Pearson. Everybody knows Ross Pearson. He's from the Ultimate Fighter from back in the day. So he's on a 2-fight win streak. Cowboys on a 4-fight win streak. Should be a fucking great entertaining fight. I guarantee you that for sure. That's a fact that they'll be banging them. So that'll be. I don't know who's gonna win that. I have no idea. But what I can say is that I'm very interested in seeing this fight. You know what I'm saying? It's just super exciting. So. Yeah, that fight's going to be dope as well, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, we have the main event, which is Valentina Shevchenko versus Juliana Pena. Juliana Pena, let me just start with this. Juliana Pena is, they don't count it. She's from the Ultimate Fighter. She's from the Ultimate Fighter season 18 when Ronda and Misha were coaches. And I remember watching that season, and I was like, who is this girl? She used to wear this, yellow top. I don't know what you call it, the yellow tight, whatever top. And I'm like, who is this fucking beastie girl in the yellow that just throws bombs and she'll take you down and beat your ass? You know what I'm saying? Comes to find out, it's Juliana Pena. So she won that season. Not only did she win that season, she's won her last 4 fights in the UFC. She's undefeated in the UFC. They say she's on a 4-fight win streak. I believe, in my eyes, the way I look at it, as she won the Ultimate Fighter, which you fight to win, you know what I'm saying, which is 3 fights. 3 fights, I think. So she fought and she won those. So she's she's 7-0 right now in my book. She's a ultimate badass. And this is a scary fight. I like Valentina a lot, man. I like Valentina Shevchenko a lot, man. And she's a badass. She's coming off of a win off of Holly Holm, whooped Holly Holm's ass, and I'm glad they gave her this main event because it's 5-rounder, of course, and I feel like she starts off a little slower than usual, because in that before she fought Holly Holm, she fought Amanda Nunes, who's now the bantamweight champ for women, and she lost the first 2 rounds. Yeah, she did, but it's not like it was crazy, like she lost crazy. But then that 3rd round, she started whooping ass. She started picking it up. So I felt like if that would have been a 5-round fight, it could have been completely different. So that's why I kind of want, I like Juliana Pena a lot. She's a badass. She doesn't hold her tongue, and she fucking fights. She fights, and I like her a lot. But I kind of want Valentina to win for the simple fact, because I want to see that, because whoever wins this fight is guaranteed next shot at the belt for bantamweight for Amanda Nunes. And I kind of want to see the rematch because it will be 5 rounds with Valentina, and it will be Amanda. You know, she'll get her get back. You know, or opportunity to get a get back. You know, in that fight, and it's super exciting. I want to see. I would love to see a rematch at 5 rounds. You know what I'm saying? That would be so awesome to see that because I know for a fact it will stay on the feet. Here's the thing with this fight: Valentina is an ultimate striker. You know, she's Muay Thai. She comes from a Muay Thai background, badass Muay Thai. She's a counter puncher. Juliana Pena can throw bombs. She definitely can stand up and bang with you. I don't think she's going to do that, and that's the problem. I think that if she puts Valentina on her back, that's the problem she's going to have with this fight. Is if she can keep it standing, she might do well. But I mean, who knows? Because Juliana Pena can throw bombs. You know, she can hit hard. I think. I mean, at least from what I've seen, it looks like she hits fucking hard. You know, so it's exciting because this is a great stylistic matchup. You know, because Juliana Pena is she's a grappler. You know, a wrestler. So if she does put Valentina on her back, she's got problems. But if she can stand, I think Valentina has the benefit there. You know, I think she has the advantage on the stand up over Juliana. So that fight, man, I'm glad it's 5 rounds. I know people are upset, like, oh, girls headline over Cowboy, and nah. I mean, I don't care. Cowboy 3 rounds, 5 rounds, dope. But I love to. I'd like seeing Valentina get these 5 rounds, man, because she's a beast. You know what I'm saying? And it's in Denver. You know, this fight is in Denver, Colorado. The altitude is different. The Mile High City, of course, you know what I'm saying? So it's a different game, and I want to see how people prepared. Well, I'm not sure who's been training out there or whatnot, but I want to see how people prepared for this fight. You know what I'm saying? I want to see how if gas will definitely be an issue for some people, or it might not, you know, depending on Denver, you know, who's out there Denver training, who went, how soon they went, how long they've been out there training for. So it's exciting. This whole card is exciting, man. I'm excited to see. And for the fights that I didn't mention, it's not because I didn't want to. It's because more like I'm not too familiar with those people. I've heard some names, but now after I see these fights, then I'll have a full understanding. I'll be able to see, you know what I mean? I'll be able to know who these people are, and especially if they put on exciting fights, you know what I'm saying? So that'll be dope. Just I've been super excited for this fight for this fight card for like the last month. So I'm very excited. UFC Fight Night, Fox 23. Yeah, that's that. Also, not only that, man, tonight is Friday, the 27th. There's Bellator 171. I'm not familiar with anybody that's fighting besides Melvin Gillard. You know what I'm saying? And just because he's an old UFC fighter, and Melvin used to be I know he's like not the greatest, but he's a badass. He goes to fight. His fights are always entertaining. I know he loses a lot by guillotine, and but I love Melvin, man. He's always been one of my favorite fighters, so I'm excited to see him back. Whether it's Bellator or UFC, I don't care where he fights. I'm excited to see Melvin fighting again and doing that. So that's 171. Also, there's this badass girl from Brazil. What's her name? Bruna Ellen. I'm excited to see her too as well. She's a badass. I've seen highlights and stuff like that, but you know, it should be very interesting. So I'll watch those tonight. I'm gonna stream them, of course, because I'm at work, son. But yeah, so that, and then not only that, there's some boxing tomorrow too. I would, if you're trying to figure who are boxing, I would say tune into UFC more. You'll probably see more exciting stuff. But that doesn't mean that these boxing fights won't be exciting, because Carl Frampton is fighting Leo Santa Cruz again for the rematch. It's the second time. Carl Frampton took the first one. Carl Frampton's an Irish dude. Leo Santa Cruz, I'm not sure. I think he's Mexican. Santa Cruz. I'm just assuming. But yeah, that should be a good ass fight. And then also Mikey Garcia is also fighting tomorrow. I don't know who he's fighting, but Mikey Garcia is fighting. I know I've seen Mikey Garcia fight before, and he's exciting as well. So man, there's just this whole weekend is full of fights. Tonight, tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? Dope fights. I say everybody tune in for those for sure, because it's gonna be an exciting night, man. It's gonna be a very exciting night. You know what I mean? So especially watch the UFC though, please, because these fights, man, I've been pumping and trying to promote these fights on my social media for a minute, man, because I've been super excited and pumped for these fights for sure. Like more excited than I am for UFC 208. That's a fact. But yeah, man, It's about it. You know what I'm saying? I ran through that real quick. But yeah, man, definitely tune in, man. There's fights tonight, Bellator 171 tomorrow, UFC Fox 23, and then also some boxing fights tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So just tune in, man. There's a bunch of fights this weekend. You should be fully entertained by all these fights. Yeah, man, that's about it. That's all I got for you today. You know what I'm saying? So like I said from the beginning, man, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, or don't, man. I appreciate everybody showing love. And supporting me on this, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people have reached out, show love, say I keep doing it. So, you know, whether they say that or not, I'm going to do it anyways because I love this shit. But I just want to say that I do appreciate that, you know what I mean? I do appreciate the people showing love and support. So, yeah, that's about it. Peace.